Hi, fellow traders. In this video, I'm going to recap my trades from Friday. They were all reversal trades, and this is a good example of how you can come in. If you missed the morning or missed the open, instead of you coming in trying to chase moves that started or whatever was going on in the first hour of the market, you could come in later and just look up, wait and look for your setups, things that's gonna, take off in the afternoon. And, Friday, I had a meeting early. Did get in, not long after the market opened, but, I wasn't gonna chase anything. And I said, yeah, I didn't really see anything I liked. When I looked at the gappers that morning, I looked at it early before I went in and just didn't like anything. So I really didn't have anything on watch for the first hour or so, and just said I would sit back and wait and look for reversals. The first one I took, now this was a nice one. This setup real nice, had the volume come in, and this was early. And this one turned about 10:10 and gave you a nice fade all the way back down. But when I came back, I really started looking when I got back from lunch. Wasn't really looking for anything of any significance, prior to going to lunch. But here's an example of, a trade that this was coming down and it kind of consolidated here on the VWAP for a little bit, about 15 minutes, and then it, lost the VWAP. And this was a nice, short below the VWAP. And, your ultimate target, because you had some support down here. So that would have been a nice trade, coming in late, because this did hit the top reversal scan first. And, once I look at tickers and they make a nice parabolic move like this, I'm going to keep my eyes on it and I'm going to keep it on watch, pretty much throughout the day. But I wasn't interested in this. Just kind of waited till after lunch. And this was on our bottom reversal scanner. It's set up. And when I looked at it, it was somewhere in here. And the one thing you have to do relatively quickly, if you don't have these levels already on the ticker that pops up, you want to quickly go to the daily chart. Or in my case, I've been using the weekly lately, because that gives me a little bit better indication of where there's some solid resistance or solid support. And I actually got these off the weekly chart versus the daily chart. And when I saw this, this was close to where it was trading. So I always start and look at the levels close to where it's trading. And I found this one. This one was about, 20 cents away at the time. Then I just came down to here because I said if it lost this, it's probably going to get down to this level. And if it lost this level, it's probably going to get down to maybe the 200 coming in. Didn't really expect it to lose all three of these. The 200, you've got the green to red line here. This was yesterday's close. And then the lower deviation band. So I felt pretty confident about calling this out in chat. I said I was watching it, around in here, looking for the bounce. It did come down and tap this. Now, being the aggressive trade on this would be to just set an order here on this support. If it comes down and taps it, takes the order, and you've got dead bottom. I mean, it's very difficult to pick the dead bottom on these reversals, because sometimes, it may not be. It just may blow through levels of support. You never really know. But this was a good place to put like a starter order. You can put a quarter or a half size order out on this, and if it takes it and then it starts to reverse, that's fine. Sometimes I may try 5 or 10 cents above, just depends on, how I feel that day. And there's very few days that I feel, um, that I would feel, you know, good enough to take more risk. So but I didn't do that today. I kind of waited and got in here on this candle, because if you look at the 2 minute right here made a new high, and this was my entry signal. Yes, the 9 was here, the 20 was here, but this is my entry signal. I'm going to watch how it does at the 9. It was, a few cents up here, but the 20 would have been my first target. I expected it to hit the 20 again, just like it did here. When it tried to reverse here, it came up, hit the 20, and came back. Here, I've got a little bit more room to play with. So I went ahead and hit the 20 here. Took some off at the 20. Was looking to add in over the 20, but I kind of missed the add and ended up taking the trade off here at the VWAP. And that was a pretty solid trade. Really could have made a little bit more money on it, but I didn't get the add back in. And I was also looking at possibly taking this off the VWAP, because it came down and the 20 held again here. And I was going to look to take it and get another trade in, and really could have got in right here if I wanted to. But I was going to wait for a little confirmation, and then something got my attention, and I missed this entry. And you see it just took, 75 cent, 77 cent range. In 5 minutes, it just ran up. Really, in 2 minutes, it ran up 57 cents. So really didn't catch that move. But had you been in here and you got a nice, 70 cent range candle, that was a nice trade. Just get out of it. Now, one reason why I took this trade, and one of the things I wanted to share, whenever the SPY is trading below the VWAP, you have to be real careful with your with longs, especially bottom reversals, because most of them are gonna bounce, but they're gonna get stuffed at the 9, or they're gonna get stuffed at the 20, especially when it's below VWAP. So on these, I'm only looking for a scalp. So, unless the SPY here is recovering. And then when I got in the win trade, the SPY was trying to bounce. And I was looking for, not win trade, WSH trade. I was looking for the SPY to recover, and it did. It was trying to recover and push back up toward VWAP. And that's what gave me this, a nice stronger move here. You can see the volume was kind of crazy. It's kind of light. But lately, I've pretty much decided that if it's making the moves and the price actions there, I'm not going to be overly concerned with the volume, because I need to take trades. If I don't take trades, I can't make money. And for the last six weeks, I've been sitting there watching things move on low volume and not taking them because the volume's not there. So I'm kind of getting away from that. But this was the first reversal I took. It was nice. Did get the VWAP. Didn't get the secondary move, but that's fine. I made my daily goal on this one, so I was pretty happy for that. The next one, I saw was Ben, and this one really was a nice. Really, I saw it here, and I didn't take this because there was just nothing here, no support. It was just a attempt at reversing, so I figured it would stop at the 9. Most of them do. And when it tested and failed the 9, I really could have taken this short, because I had a nice window down here. And like I said, in the afternoon, you're probably not going to get strong, 150 to $2 moves. You're going to get 50 cents to $1. moves, and you want to take advantage of those. But I didn't take this short. Just kind of watched it and then called out for the reversal because I saw it was coming down to this level of support here. And when I got this doji right here below the lower deviation band, and even though it was still trending down, this thing bounced off support. And so on the 2 minute, when it made this new high, I went ahead and entered, and I sized up, and I did say that I was sizing up because this was going to be a scalp. If it had trouble here at the 9, I was going to take the trade off. And that's exactly what happened. After this candle, it came up and it couldn't push the 9. I went ahead and took it off. And because I was sized in pretty good, I was able to get, a decent profit. So I think it was ended up being about 25 cents. And 25 cents on 1,000 shares, you're going to get, 250 bucks. So that was just a low risk, high reward trade because I said my stop was going to be at the low of the day, which was 36.12. That was the low. I got in at 36.14, and really it was a 2-cent stop, which is, crazy, but that was low a day. And had it come down and it closed below this lower day, I would have taken it out. Now I'm not using a hard stop, so if it came down and it made 36.10 lower day, that wasn't going to take me out. It would have had to close below this in order for me to, take it off. But that's what my risk, I was risking on the close below lower day. Had it washed out and washed out 10 cents below lower day, yeah, I would have clicked it right then. But it's all about feel for me. It's all about watching the price action, being able to determine whether this thing is going to turn over or not. And it's not luck. It's just being able to see what's going on and reading level 2. Now, level 2 can fake you out, so I don't rely too much on it. But I'm looking at level 2. I'm looking at time and sales. I'm just looking at the price action. And I could tell here that this thing was starting to turn over. When you have more on the ask than you have on the bid, you can expect this thing to start turning over. And you had a lot of, orders on the ask popping up. And that usually will drive the price down. So that's what happened. That's why I got out when I did. And you can see, again, I'm looking at the SPY. And the SPY was turning over at this time. So I think it hit right here and it just started to tank. I believe that's what was happening when I got in this trade. Yep, exactly what was happening. The SPY turned over and it tanked. So I'm looking at all of these things, and it's very difficult, like I said, to time these reversals. But if you can find it on support, that's the best place to base your trade off of. And 8 out of 10 times, once this thing gets extended and it's below the lower deviation band, it's worth the risk. You probably aren't going to lose money. You may not make as much as you want. The SPY may not cooperate. And whenever the SPY is trading below the VWAP, these are the problems that you're going to run into on bottom reversals. All right, there was one more. I didn't take this one. I actually missed this one. But here's another one. It came down. Now, if I had an order sitting right here on this support, and at 83, this thing only dipped down to 77. I would have given it 10 or 15 cents if I just had an order sitting here, and it chopped a little bit. You had a little bit of indecision here chopping around, but then it did finally crack the 9. This would have been a great first target if I had gotten it down here. Take some off here, hold it, take some off at the 20, and then leave some on, because here's resistance right here, right around the 20. So just leave some on to see if it, as long as it didn't fade this, see if it get VWAP. And sure enough, it never did crack the 20 or the 9, and then it ended up getting VWAP. That would be the ultimate target, and sell it. And see, this is around 140. Let's look at SPY. 240, I'm sorry. See, SPY was still trying to make that run back up to VWAP. Then when it cracked, when it started to turn and it fell to the 20, you see what happened to this trade. It just kept going back down. I think I had my times off. Hold on one second. That's 140. I was saying 240. But you can see this is when the SPY was trying to come back and reclaim the VWAP. And as long as it was trending up and it was trying to reclaim it, you were getting strong moves here, to the upside. It was still a little choppy, but then when SPY finally turned over and you got that, it started going back, that's when these moves failed. Wouldn't crack VWAP. So that's why I look at the SPY. Sorry I confused you on the times a little bit, but that's why I look at the SPY. That's why I watch it, and why I'm cautious on bottom reversals when it's trading below the SPY. 8 out of 10 times you're not going to get the move that you want unless the SPY is going to be stronger. It's going to start trending up, or it's going to start reclaiming the VWAP. And especially if you have a ticker like this with no volume. You can see it's making moves, but there's no volume. And typically, we would not condone trading a ticker like this on low volume. But like I said, for the last 6 weeks, I've been sitting back watching these tickers move on virtually no volume. The price action is good. You could get in and out, with 1,000 shares relatively easily. And, so there's no reason for me not to, try to trade these and get these moves. If not, I'll be sitting back watching and not making money. So just wanted to share that with you guys. That was my Friday. Hopefully this week we'll get some pretty decent winners early. Maybe the SPY will come back. A lot of indications are that the SPY will come back. So, we'll just wait and see what happens and just kind of plan from there. So hope you guys had a great weekend. See you tomorrow in chat, and we look forward to having a great week.